Hey everyone. It is Wednesday, January the... Oh, I'm so lost on my days. January the 16th? Yes, it is the 16th. Okay. Just a couple updates. First off, I want to thank everyone that replied to my last video about the thing on my tongue. And once so many people said that it looked like an ulcer, I Googled, tongue ulcer and saw pictures, and that's definitely what it is. And in fact, last night I noticed that I have another one started. Here, the one that I showed you guys in the last video is here. Right there. And so that white part is not as white anymore. But now I've got on this side, I got that one. So I did take pictures to show the rheumatologist. I go at the last week of January. I don't know if I'll still have them by then or not, but in case I don't, I took pictures. Yeah, now they're not sore. They're definitely not like the other things that I used to get on my tongue, which were like almost like one of the taste buds would get like kind of like a bump, like a white little bump, and those were really painful. These aren't painful. I don't feel them at all. So it's really bizarre. And so anyways, it's obviously ulcers. And yeah, I definitely think, it's probably a flare. Because my fatigue has been bad, especially yesterday. Like, oh God, yesterday, I got up at, I think it was, I'm trying to think what time I got up yesterday. I think it was 9 or 9:30. And I was up maybe an hour and a half, and then I could barely stay awake. And I felt really nauseous. I'm down to taking Entacort every second day now, and have really been noticing that since I've done that, things are coming up again. The diarrhea is starting up again. Not as severe, mind you, but I can see that it's headed there. And the nausea has returned. So definitely I know now that the nausea is probably related to the colitis. Because the Entacort was treating the colitis. And so now that I'm going down on it, like the nausea is coming back and all that stuff, like all the stomach issues. These ulcers on my tongue are completely new. I have never ever had these before. I've been getting, not too frequently, but I was getting it yesterday and the night before and a little bit this morning. And I have not experienced this since right before I was diagnosed, which is my hair hurting. It's like kind of like the scalp hurts, but it's kind of like the scalp hurts, but like it's where the roots of my hair is, that like if I like put my eyebrows like this, or I yawn, or I move my head a certain way, it hurts. Um, Also, I'm not getting it so much right now, but I was for a few days getting where certain spots on my skin felt like they were bruised, but there was no bruise there. And that I have not experienced since 2002 when all that stuff happened after I got the black henna. Um, so that's, and I know now that, what happened that back in 2002 was probably my first big flare. Um, but it was undiagnosed. And so, yeah, I've been getting that and just like nausea, fatigue. My joints have been bothering me on and off. So yeah, I do think that, I'm in a flare. Um, so we shall see what the lupus clinic says. I really want to mention to them about Benlysta. I mean, the doctor that I'm seeing at the lupus clinic actually took part in the research to develop the drug Benlysta. So, I mean, he should be well knowledged in the area of Benlysta since he was really involved in the development of it. So I'm really surprised that it hasn't been brought up yet with me. Now, maybe that's because he's really, that he's really wanting to, really confirm that it's lupus. So hopefully, I'll still have the tongue stuff going on and whatever when I see him. And, maybe these things will help him, like, realize that, yes, I'm in a flare, and that it is lupus. And, so I would really, really be interested in trying Benlysta. Honestly, I've really started to read a lot of positive things with it. A lot of people have had, really good results with it. I have heard that when you start taking it, that the first few times, like about 3 days after you get your infusion, you are kind of down, feeling sick, and so generally, like, people have said that for like the first 3 days after their treatment, like, they don't plan anything, like, they don't even go to work and stuff. So that's a factor that I have to think about. Like, right now, it's obviously not a big deal because I'm not working, but it's something to think about. Now, I know I have heard that there's clinical trials going on now for an injection that you give yourself at home once a week. And so that's another thing that I'm going to look into to see if maybe they're doing a clinical trial here for that. I don't know if it's in the US only, but if they're doing it in Canada, like, I'd be really interested in doing that. Not that I exactly want to give myself a needle. I don't know if I'd be able to do it, but I think it would kind of probably be a little bit more convenient than having to get a monthly IV infusion. And so far, like, the people that have been on the injections have found it to be really helpful and beneficial. So I'm really, really wanting to look into that. And of course, like, in the clinical trial, I don't think you have to pay for it, or it's cheaper or something. I don't know. But yeah, because Benlysta, the monthly infusion is ridiculously expensive. Now, I have heard that here in Toronto, I don't know about elsewhere, but there is a program called the Butterfly Program, I believe, where they say that if your drug company will cover 80% of Benlysta, then this foundation will cover the remaining 10%, so that it would be 100% covered, which would be fantastic. So I am going to look into that as well. Yeah, just lots of people have said that they feel like they have their life back since being on Benlysta, so that's really encouraging to hear. So I definitely would like to look into that. On another note, I had a job interview last night for a nanny job that would be, they originally said 2 to 3 days a week, but it looks like they're really only wanting 2 days a week. And as it so turns out, the pay that I was looking for was $2 more an hour than what they were hoping to pay. On top of that, even at the rate that I'd want, 2 days a week would not be enough. On top of that, they were hoping that one of the days, like at least 1 day per week, I would not only be watching the one child, but their 2 cousins. And the child's 2 cousins are the same age as the child I'd be watching, which is 1 year old. So I really can't envision myself taking care of 3 1-year-olds for 8.5 hours, because that's even though it was like 2 days a week, it was 8.5 hour shifts. The only plus side was that they were closer to my home. It would be a 40-minute commute as opposed to an hour commute. But the pay is just, I don't think it's enough to make it doable. And even if it was, the whole having to take care of 3 1-year-olds, I don't think that would be good for my health. I just, honestly, like, I just can't even envision caring for 3 1-year-olds. Yeah, I mean, I've worked in infant rooms and daycares where the ratio is 1 to 3. However, you have other staff members in the room with you, and yeah. And of course, in a daycare setting, you're in a smaller room, and the room is specifically baby stuff. Excuse me. Whereas here, this is someone's home, and their home was huge. It was like a mansion, and it was huge, and I'm thinking, like, these kids will be all over the place. With Kyle, when I used to take care of his cousins along with him, his cousins were, one was his age and one was older than him. So they were fine. They were quite easy to handle because they were old enough that they were more independent, and it was more just supervising them, but they would play and do their own thing. Whereas 3 1-year-olds, it's like, wow, like, you have to watch for them putting stuff in their mouth. They're going to crawl all over the place. I mean, I don't think it would be good for me. So, but, it was the first interview, so I'm sure there'll be other families. I'm being right after Christmas, I think, like, right now, there's not too many job postings, but hopefully there'll be more coming up soon, and hopefully I will start getting my EI payments soon. Like, unfortunately, they can't give you your EI payments until you send them your record of employment, and for some reason it took a long time for the family to send me my record of employment. I just got it, I think it was 2 weeks ago. So I mailed it in right away, like the same day I got it. But I guess they haven't I don't know if they've received it or reviewed it yet, because when I went to do my EI report on the weekend, it mentioned that I would not be getting any payments until they received that. So I'm just hoping this week or next week I'll get it, because you know, otherwise we're going to be having to take money from our savings again to pay bills. So that's where things are right now. I did not sleep well at all last night. And I really, you know, I've kind of been using the last week to slowly catch up on my to-do list. Just been cleaning up stuff, organizing, getting rid of stuff. I've been, you know, finishing making some of the smaller products that I have to add to my shop, like the baby bracelets and magnets and things like that. And just getting them packaged and put up in my shop, which is done now. I just have 3 more bottles to make, because the baby bottles, the fake formula baby bottles, have been selling like crazy lately. It's really weird. But I'm almost out of stock on the fake formula baby bottles on my on my Etsy store. So I've bought 3 more to make for now. And because baby bottles are really, really expensive. So I try to get them on sale so that I can keep my prices lower. Yeah, so I've just been doing all that. And now that I'm pretty close, I think I'm pretty close to being caught up. Hi, Riley. Hi. That's Riley. There's Riley's tail. Right, Riley? So now that that's all caught up, I really need to finish rooting Estelle. So I think that's the goal over the next week, is to hopefully get her rooted and finished, if my health permits me. It can be trying on my hands, and we'll see how I hold out with the fatigue. So yeah, just getting rooting done and resting. Riley keeps headbutting me. And the dog upstairs keeps howling. Oh, it's driving me. She's been howling since 7 a.m. And it is now 11:20 a.m. Usually he takes his dog with him, but I guess obviously he can't take the dog to work with him. And so when she's home alone, she howls the entire time. It's, oh God, I'm about to lose my mind. So basically I end up putting on the TV and cranking up the TV loud so I don't have to listen to her howling. So yeah, I guess I'm just gonna root, rest, and vlog, because I have quite a few vlogs to make. So anyways, that is the updates. And I'll keep you guys posted. See you in the next video.